welcome to join me for a little morning flow to help warm up our bodies. So let's go ahead and come over to our mats. We'll get started. We're just going to start standing. And so as we're standing, think about your feet being parallel, hip-bone distance apart. And we're just going to lift your toes up, set your toes down, and lift your heels up, and then heels down. So just warming up that articulation, that mobility at our ankle joint and our feet. We all need our feet to help support us, to help walk us through our everyday life. Yes. And so you need nothing but a mat today if you have time to join me. I have some beautiful snow. You probably can't really see it out there, just snow this morning. I hope it's beautiful wherever you are as well. Or maybe it's afternoon. Hello, East Coasters. Good. And so let's just do this articulation at our foot 2 more times. On that second one, we're going to hold our feet planted firmly on the ground. And as we hold our feet down, we're just going to circle your hands up. Take a big inhale. Exhale, bring those hands back down. Good, deep inhale. And feel free to comment if you're joining or if you don't have time today, but you want to check me out later for another workout. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, back down. Good, deep into that breath in it. So as you're breathing, think about a lateral breath. Inhale, reach those ribs out towards the sides of the room, and then exhale back in. So inhale and deep exhale. Let's do that 2 more times, warming up also through our shoulders. On that next one, we're just going to hold your hands down at your side, keeping those feet planted firmly on the floor. We're going to pump those arms at your side. So in mat Pilates, we usually do this 100 laying flat on the floor, but we're just going to do our 100 from a standing position. Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. Inhale and deep exhale. So think about keeping the whole torso stable, just moving from the shoulder socket. So that humerus, or nice funny bone, is just moving from that shoulder socket. Inhale and deep exhale. Inhale and deep exhale. Remember, it's not a movement at the wrist. It's from that shoulder, keeping that core active. Good for 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then we'll hold those arms stable. So just like as if you're on the reformer, even if you've never been on a reformer before, our feet are parallel, hip-bone distance apart. We're going to sit down into our squat and then come back up. And of course, if we were laying down, our spines would be supported by that carriage. But since they're not, think about keeping those ribs lined up with the pelvis as we squat down and come back up. And feel the entire thigh muscle. So think about the front and the back of the thigh working together as we go through these squats. Inhale and deep exhale. And of course, stay within your range of motion as well. Hey, thanks for joining. Good. And let's do 2 more. Yes. Just feeling that body heat up already. Let's hold down into your squat, and we're just going to do some pulses. So halfway up and halfway down. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Let's do 5 more. And 4. Good. 3, 2, 1, and then stand all the way back up. That felt wonderful, right? So we're going to move into a wide external stance, so turning your toes out. And we're going to squat down and back up. Inhale. Good. Deep exhale. And of course, stay within your range of motion. But think about those feet. So feel that weight in your heel, ball the big toe, ball the pinky toe, but you're not clenching those toes down for dear life. Inhale and deep exhale. Good. Inhale and exhale. Let's do 2 more. On this next one, let's hold down to our squat. And we're going to windmill our arms, side to side. Good. Inhale and exhale. Warming up that side body. Good. We always need to stretch that side. Also giving us a chance to work on our lateral lung breathing. Inhale and exhale. Let's do 1 more time to each side. And then we're going to come back through the middle and we're going to do some pulses. Halfway up and halfway down. Think about those thighs spiraling back, engaging into your glutes, pressing to your heel, the ball of the big toe, ball of the pinky toe. Feeling those thighs warm up for 5 more seconds here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Hold it down. Lift your heels, lower. Lift your heels and lower for 5 more. Hi, thanks for joining. 4, 3, 2, and 1 more. Set those heels down. Stand up nice and tall. I don't know about you, but my thighs are already warm. Good. So coming to your mat towards the back edge. Round through your spine. Soften at those knees. Tiger crawl, walk yourself out to your plank. If you need to, just come down onto your knees. We're going to come back out of that. So we're going to walk it back up, bend those knees, and round your spine back up. Nice. We'll do that a few more times. Nod the chin to the chest, engage the core, bend the knees, tiger crawl, walk it out. Remember, if you need to, just set the knees down or come into your full plank. Bend the knees, slowly walk it back in, and take your time as you round your spine back up. Let's do that a few more. Good. Bend the knees, walk out, find your plank, walk it back in, bend the knees, round your spine back up. And let's do that one more time. Find your plank, or just come onto those knees if you need to. And breathe for 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. And then either way, whether you're there or not, let's come onto those knees. So all fours. So torso long, shoulder over the wrist, butt over the knee. We're gonna start with some cat-cows. So round your spine, looking toward your inner thighs, and then extend your spine, open your chest, open that collarbone to look forward. So initiate from the pelvis round, and then initiate from your heart, extend and open your chest, look forward. So inhale, and deep exhale. And if you're just joining a nice kind of intermediate beginner flow, I'll give you options to adjust as we go through this class. Inhale, and deep exhale. Good, breathing into it. Let's do 2 more. And on that second one, let's just come into a nice neutral spine. And then let's laterally flex. So I'm going to look over to my left hip, and I'm going to look over to my right hip. So just moving side to side. 1 more time each side. Come back through center. Good. And then we're going to see if we can take one hand forward, bring it back in, and then the other hand forward and back in. So we're going to stay stable, lifting in the armpit and your hip as we do this. And then let's try that with the legs. Just the left leg back, and then just the right leg back. Left leg, and then right leg. So you can always stay there, just keeping it nice and basic, or we can layer on. So opposite arm, opposite leg, bring it back in, and other side. Working to not collapse down. So our torso is staying stable as we do this. Hey, thanks for joining. Good. Let's do 1 more time to each side, and then let's see if we can hold. Good. And as you hold this, just pulse it up. For 5, engage your glute. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bring everything back in. Let's do the other side. Reach out, and a little pulse it up. Good. For 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bring everything back in. Sit back into a little child's pose. Give yourself a stretch. Take a deep inhale. And then as you exhale, round your body up. Let's go ahead and bring your butt down onto the mat. We'll come to a seated position. And let's start to work that core a little bit. So keeping your feet planted firmly on the ground, grab the back of your thighs. Stack up nice and tall. So engage your glutes, tuck your pelvis, roll your spine back. Okay, good. And then take your time as you come back to upright. So use your hands on the back of the thighs to help support your spine, especially depending on how you're feeling this morning, on your bodies, right? Of course, I don't know if you have any specific injuries or anything, so just go to where you can today. And if needed, if you need to keep your spine more flat, you can just hinge back and come back to upright. You can hinge back and come back to upright. So feel free to stay here in this nice modified roll down. Otherwise, we're going to layer on. So you can still keep your knees bent if you want, or straighten those legs, hands out in front of you. Your hands can always stay on your thighs as well to help guide your spine. But again, moving from that pelvis, roll your spine all the way down to the mat. Hands can reach overhead. And then nod the chin, the chest. Find this nice deep crunch first. Kind of press your lower back down to the mat. Press your heels down to help you come all the way back to upright. So engage the glutes, tuck the pelvis, roll your spine down. Like your legs are reaching away from you. Hands come overhead. And if you need to, you can grab the back of your thighs to help bring you back to upright. Let's just do that 2 more times. Round down. Hands reach overhead. Bring your hands back to upright. Nod the chin to the chest. Roll your spine back up. Good. 1 more. Rolling back down. And this time we're just going to stay down on the mat. So once you're here, go ahead. We'll start with the knees bent again. So feet planted firmly on the floor. We're gonna take your right leg up to the sky. So grab the back of your right thigh, stretch it up, and bend. Stretch, lengthen that right thigh high, and then bend. Straighten, and bend. Let's do 2 more. And then hold that leg reaching up to the ceiling, and then point and flex your foot, so moving from that ankle. Let's do 2 more. And we're gonna hold the toes pointed up to the ceiling. Take your hands down to the mat. If you need to, hold your thigh though. So we're gonna not let that pelvis move, keeping it stable, small circles. So moving our femur, our leg bone within the hip socket. Our femur should be able to circumduct in that hip. Let's do 2 more. Torso stable. And then let's reverse it. Going the opposite direction with that leg. 2 more. And on that next one, hold that leg up. Give it a little deeper stretch. If you can't, lift and hold into a crunch. Maybe choose to stay here or keep your head down. Listen to your body today. Otherwise, hands can come down to your side, lower that leg, and lift. And if you need to, hold the back of your thighs or bring that head down. But again, we're going to keep the pelvis from moving. So our core is active. It's like we're tightening our belt. Hug the hip bones in, draw that belly button down to the spine. Inhale and deep exhale. 2 more. And then hold that leg lifted and see if you can just deepen into that crunch. Lifting up and up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and then lower your spine back down. Bring that leg back to the floor. So grab the back of that left thigh. We've got to repeat. Stretch that left leg up and back down. Deep inhale, deep exhale. Focusing on the breath. And the back of the thigh. And there goes Ziggy. You guys have probably seen him in my videos, right? Yeah. Yeah, 2 more. And then hold that leg lifted, moving at that ankle. Point and flex the foot. Good. Point and flex. Let's do that 2 more times. Remember, hold the back of your thigh if you need to. Hold the toe pointed. Hands can come down to your side. Small circle. So we're moving that femur, that leg bone within your hip socket. It does not have to be a big circle. It could be small. It's better to be small and keep your torso from moving. Good. 2 more. And then take your time as you reverse and go the opposite direction. Hey, thanks for joining. And breathe. Good. I think I said reverse, but if I did not, I'm just going to make sure I said that right now. Good. Let's do 2 more. And then hold that leg lifted. So grab the back of your thigh. Use your hands on your thigh to help nod the chin to the chest, crease at that chest line, and come back to upright. Good. And then point and flex that foot. Point and flex. You can probably hear the snow shoveling going on, right? Yeah. It's a little wintry out there. Let's do 2 more. And then we'll take your hands to your side if you can. And we're just going to lower that leg and lift. And lower and lift. Deep inhale. Deep exhale. Focusing on that breath. Yeah. We got a lot of snow the other day, so you might hear some snow blowers, some snow shovels. Good. Let's do 2 more. And then hold that leg up if you can. Remember, hold the back of your thigh if you need to, and little pulses up. Little pulses. Good. And 3 more. 2, 1, and then go ahead, deepen that crunch, and lower yourself down, bringing that head back on the mat. So, feeling your shoulders and your pelvis on the mat, we're going to begin with a flat back bridge. So hands could be at your side for this one, pressing into your feet, but also think about your feet pulling into your seat, even though they're not moving. Just think about them pulling in to activate more through your hamstring and your glute. We're going to lift your hips up and back down. So activating through the glutes and lower back down. And the hamstrings, of course. Triangle base of support, so weight in the heel, ball the big toe, ball the pinky toe. Let's do 2 more. And let's hold those hips lifted. So with your hips lifted, feel that weight on your shoulders, lengthen the neck, moving from the pelvis, keeping the legs stable. We're just going to tilt the pelvis side to side. So feeling your pelvis dip, center, and dip. So kind of like your pelvis is a bowl of water, and you're spilling water out to the left and then to the right. Let's just do that 1 more time to each side. And then flat back lower. Squeeze those glutes, lift up. Bridging is so great for our body, especially if you've been sitting during our quarantine time. So we want to make sure to kind of do the opposite of sitting, which is essentially when we're in a hip extension. That's what this is. Let's do 2 more. And then hold it up. So maybe that's as far as you go. Or left leg to tabletop, set it down, and then right leg lifts. So as we're marching, we want to focus on keeping those hips from moving, holding them stable. Inhale and deep exhale. Good. Let's do one more time each side. And then maybe you choose to stay there. You can always just hold your hips lifted or bring that right leg up, reach the right leg up, lower the right leg, and lift. And you can see as I lower that right leg, my hips are still staying up. Let's do 2 more. And 1. And then we'll switch sides. Good. Stretch that left leg up. Lower and lift. Lower and lift. Let's do 3 more. And 2. Good. And 1 more. And then bend that knee, set that foot down, and then peel down through our spine. Good. So one leg at a time, let's take those legs up to tabletop again. So this move, if you can, hold your neutral so you have your natural curve at your lower back, that lumbar spine, or imprint, press that lower back down to help you stabilize. We just don't want to rock forward and back between the two because that's how we get back pain. So pick one and stick there. So I'm going to try and hold my neutral. I'm going to take, moving from my hip, dip my left toes down, up, and then my right toes down. So this should activate through your core. Even though your head is down, you'll start to feel those abs working. But a little bit more modified, especially if you have any neck pain. Let's do one more time each side. You could stay here or layer on. Both toes down and back up. But I'm moving from my hips. I'm keeping my spine stable. It's not moving. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. Maybe you feel really awesome at that. You can reach your legs straight to the ceiling and lower both legs and lift. And I have to say, by keeping your head down, you feel that whole long lever working here. Good. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Remember, you can always still be here in tabletop. 2 more. And 1. And then bring those legs back in. Grab the back of your thighs. You can always roll to one side and come up, or lift yourself back to upright. That felt amazing, right? So let's lay on your side. You gotta work that side body. Yep. And we're gonna start with your knees bent. So maybe line yourself up at the back edge of your mat. And then we want that top hip to lengthen down out of the ribs. We're just gonna take this top leg, we're gonna lift it up and back down. So keeping it bent today. Lots of different ways to do these, but feel that glute engaged. Hey, thanks for joining. Good. Lift it up and back down. Good. So just a quick little mini workout today. A little bit of everything for our full body is the goal, right? Even if you only have 10 to 15, 20 minutes, you could still get in a full body workout. So, and with all this time that we have on our hands, whether you're still working at home, working somewhere, especially if you're out working, it's so important to keep our health up. Let's do 2 more. Hold that leg lifted. So moving from the hip, keeping that knee bent, reach the leg back and come back in. Engage that glute as your leg goes back. We're gonna keep the hips from moving. So as our leg goes back, it helps us to open up through our hip flexor. And again, after sitting all day, walking, that hip flexor is always being flexed, which is essentially what happens when my leg comes forward. The hip is flexed. As it goes back, it's extended and open. So 2 more. And on this next one, we're going to hold the leg back. It's going to be a lot of fun. So hold it back. We can't wait, right? And just lift up and lift up. So activating through that side glute here, focusing on the breath. Our leg, our knee is just about lined up with our hip as we do this. But of course, modify, adjust for your body. We're going to keep your little small space under your bottom side between your rib cage and your pelvis, kind of where that lumbar spine is. 2 more. Good. Hold that up and small circle, small circle. So almost think about your knee being the tip of a pencil and think about moving your femur, your leg bone within your hip socket. Hey, thanks for joining. If you missed it, this will be available for 24 hours. You can restart and watch later. Good. And then reverse, go the opposite direction. Small circles, small circles. They're like happy circles. Think about smiley faces. Because I don't know about you, but if you're doing these with me, you should feel that glute start to work. It's mine's firing up. 2 more. Good. And then go ahead and bring that leg back down. So come to upright. You can just keep those knees where they are. And we're just going to go for a side stretch. And come back up, right? We got to stretch that side body. Inhale. And exhale. Let's do 2 more. Good. And then hold this over for a second. Hold it over. Breathing into this top lung. Inhale. Lateral breathing. So good to help open up our lungs. Inhale. And let's just counter stretch it because it feels amazing. So I'm going to reach towards my feet and then reach my hand overhead and feel this beautiful stretch through my body. Good. So let's switch to the other side. What we did on one side, we must repeat on the other. Good. So come into your position here. I'm just down here on my arm, but you can always even be further down or have your arm bent if that feels more appropriate for you. But again, lengthen that torso. So drawing that top hip away from the rib cage, so create length. And we're gonna take that top leg and lift the ankle and the knee up. So the ankle, I'm not doing these clamshells, if the whole shape is coming up with me. I'm using my side glute to help lift that leg. And our butt is more than just lift, right? It does help to move our legs. So it is an important muscle to help keep it healthy. Focusing on the breath, inhale and exhale, good. So just a few more minutes here. We're almost done with this beautiful workout, moving our whole body. Let's do 3 more. And 2. And 1, bring that leg down to the height of the hip and then kick it back and forward. So that knee is staying flexed. I'm not moving my knee, I'm moving from my hip. Good. Exhale and inhale. Exhale and inhale. Thanks for joining. Good. Engage that back glute. Feel that butt cheek squeeze as that leg comes back. 3 more. Nice. 2. And then hold that leg back. So again, think about your knee being the tip of a pencil. We're going to do little small circles. Small circles. They feel amazing. Good. Moving the femur within the hip. And then reverse it, go the opposite direction. Focusing on that breath. Good. 3 more. 2, 1, and then bring that leg back down. Good. So press yourself up, coming into that side sit position. So my knees are just bent with my feet to my side, basically how I was just in that same position. Good. Reach overhead and come back up. Reach overhead. So you can see I'm bending my right arm. That way my shoulder stays out of my ear as my hand comes overhead. Inhale and deep exhale. Nice. Inhale and deep exhale. 2 more. Opening up into that side body. Nice. And 1 more. Breathing into that top lung. Come over, let's counter stretch. Just go the other way, reach to your feet. Breathing into this top lung feels amazing. Opening up that side body. Good, coming back to upright. And so we're just gonna end with a couple more moves. So let's flip over onto our bellies like hotcakes, right? We gotta cook this side as well. So think about your pubic bone staying down, your abs hugging up. So essentially, my ribs are lined up with my pelvis in this position to help protect that lower back. We're just gonna go for a slow swim. So if your shoulders allow, reach your hands overhead, shoulders out the ears. I'm gonna lift my right arm, left leg, and then left arm, right leg. Right arm, left arm, right. Inhale, and exhale. Almost like my limbs are being pulled away from each other as I lift. Let's do 1 more time to each side. And then if you can't, stay there, or lift everything up and let's swim. For 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and then bring your hands back down. Press yourself up into that shell stretch, that child's pose. Stretching through that lower back, breathing into it. This is actually a great way to breathe into the posterior side, the back side of our body, to help open up the back of our lungs. Inhale and deep exhale. Let's do that for 2 more. And 1 more time. And then take your time as you come back up to that all fours position, so hands and knees, right? You gotta come all the way back to upright. Curl those toes underneath you. Press into your toes, lift your hips up, or come up however you need to. Walk your feet in a little bit, bend the knees. Let your hands and your head feel heavy. Circle those arms around. Other direction. Keep those knees bent. Think about engaging the core, moving from your spine, round up bone by bone. Good. Roll those shoulders back. Good. Hope you guys all feel a little invigorated after this. And just a big deep inhale and exhale. Feeling gratitude for our body is so important to keep us moving throughout the day. So check back as I continue to post more little mini workouts to help keep your body invigorated. Remember, it does not need to be a full hour, but stay tuned for more classes to come. And if you have any feedback or if you're needing something for your body, send me a message, drop me a comment, or if you'd like to stay more up to date about future classes, drop your email in the DM below. So send me over your email and I'll keep you posted on future